Okay, it's Mark, and today is January 28th, 2015. And tonight's show, we have a lot of news to talk about, some bad news, some good news. Also, our live show, usually what we do on the last Wednesday of our monthly challenges is we review the animation that people have submitted. So we're going to take a look at the animation tonight and perhaps vote on who we feel is the best. And so let's get started here. Turn this off so you can see. The topic was a morning experience, and let's see. So we have one viewer tonight, which is Simon from Belgium. And normally, I think Ron Cole usually gets the word out every Wednesday that we have a live show, and I promoted it on Facebook, but I think a lot of people don't know we have a live show tonight. So that's okay though, at least people can watch the show later. But I am going to watch some of these animations that were submitted. And let's see, so Stamp Motion said, I got just a video for this. And now this one here, I believe he created, he did not create this video for the challenge, I think, but we're going to watch it. It fits in perfectly. But just to recap, so the last topic was dragons, and so that was a really fun challenge. And then this time, Claymara chose a morning experience, and what she said was, the theme will be a morning experience, which means us animators can choose a morning act. So it could be opening a window in the morning, getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, bathing, getting your hair fixed, watering plants, watching the sunrise, etc. And it could be a funny or serious character, a person or animal. So that was the topic challenge. And so Stamp Motion posted this, and this is actually really good, but I'm going to make it bigger first. I'm not going to watch it on our site. And by the way, just so you guys know, our site will go through an upgrade in a couple of, maybe 2-3 weeks from now, where videos will load a lot nicer and bigger in the screen. So Simon says, it's like being alone at the theater, but with the screen talking to me. Yep. Well, at least I can make it a little bit exciting instead of being so quiet in here. But things will probably pick up. People will join as the show goes on for sure. But to start with, we're going to watch this, and this was from, this is called Mr. Clay and Breakfast Mess, and it's 1 minute 48 seconds, and this was actually posted in June 2014. So like I said, this isn't part of the challenge. Like if we were going to have prizes, we wouldn't consider this one as part of the challenge, but it's still a really cool animation, so we're going to go ahead.
Sorry, sir, but our breakfast hours are over.
So he wants breakfast, and he tries to make some oatmeal or something there, and it doesn't quite work out. And so he goes out to get some food, and their breakfast hours are over. So a very frustrating time if you're hungry. And I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys out there, but it has happened to me. So Nick is here. So how's it going, Nick? It looks like things are kind of slow tonight, unfortunately. But what we're doing is we're going to review some of these animations that people submitted for our monthly challenges. And so Zakira also posted a video, and she said, I decided to make some outdoors claymation for this challenge. She says, I had difficulties with this one as I couldn't put the tripod still enough. It was a lot of fun making this type of animation. I might make some more outdoor claymation for future monthly challenges. And the Zyos are my original clay creatures, and the Oink Bas are the Zyos' livestock. The first thing the Zyos do in the morning is milk their Oink Bas. So, now this is 37 seconds long, me make it big first. And here we go.
Oh man, I'm late for work. I gotta get going.
For the this little, I gotta get rid of these things. There we go. Let's restart that.
Oh man, I'm late for work. I gotta get going. Man. Hello, ladies. Oh man, I'm late. The light. Where is he going? Wait up. Hi. I gotta go. Can you say weird?
Yeah, you know what, guys? I think I forgot to press the button on my mic there. See, I'm still learning. Even though I've done this for so long, I keep all these new things I gotta do. It's kind of, I'm inundated with different tasks. But let's watch that one more time here.
Oh man, I'm late for work. I gotta get going. Man. Hello, ladies. Oh man, I'm late. The light. Where is he going? Wait up. Hi. I gotta go. Can you say weird?
Okay. So he's starting his day off differently than some people, but pretty good animation. And you notice that the characters have a lot of mobility for what they are, which I think what he's done is taken like a Barbie type doll with a lot of joints and just made like a clay head with a hat, which you can see works pretty good. Is it clay? Let me see here. I know there was a close-up. Ah, okay. Yeah, the frame rate is really low, which is understandable if you're trying to do animation, a longer animation. It's definitely harder to go with like 24 or 30 frames per second. But okay, so it's definitely like a clay head as well. Now, yeah, you can hear my son. He wants to come in here. So, oh, okay. 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, my son is still awake. He's supposed to be in bed, but he wakes up sometimes and he's telling me he's afraid of the dark. So I asked him to ask his papa for help. But so now, okay, that's good, Nick. So yeah, we were just watching some of these videos, and this one was from Kuroji, and his video is short. It's only about 23 seconds long. It looks like he utilizes perhaps some it's like Barbie dolls, and he took advantage of the joints, and actually his hand on this character looks like wire, so it might be a wire puppet with some clothing that came from like a Ken doll or something like that. And that's definitely one way you can do things. So really good job, I think. But the question of frame rates, you know, if you want to get smooth animation, you know, the higher the frame rate, the better, of course. But now Katie N posted this one, and she just said, here's my submission for this month. And she posted it twice, but let's see if we can get it to come up here. And this one is called The Commute. So evidently worms commute to work just like people. So let's check it out. like maybe acrylics. And so she has her worm commute to work. So obviously it's a simple animation, but just to get the point across, it works perfectly. And you can see up top, on top of that hill, is the business of operations. Yeah, we can show all these to you guys again, and so you can see what the other animations looked like. But there's only 4 people here, and I think that might actually be 3 people, because I'm pretty sure I count as a viewer myself. I don't think there's really enough people to vote this time. But let's recap them. That was the last one. I believe Katie was the last person to submit a animation. So let's watch them one more time. And so Nick says he likes that one. Let's see here. Now we're not going to count Stamp Motion Studios, although that's a good animation. That was made last year, so we're not going to count that one. But we did watch that one earlier. So, but the first one that would be considered a potential, challenge entry, if you want to call it that way, would be Zycera's. So let me open this one up. Okay. And here we go. Okay, so that's a very simple one. So Ron Cole says he was on a political website getting all flustered, debating people. Yeah, I used to do that sometimes, but yeah, I never really got any, you can't really win political debates. I found out. And as much as you might want to try to change things, sometimes that's almost impossible. It's just my opinion, of course, but we can debate that later. Alright, so now this one here is from Kuroji, and this one we watched before also. We're going to just watch it one more time. Here we go.
Oh man, I'm late for work. I gotta get going. Man. Hello, ladies. Oh man, I'm late. The light. Where is it going? Where is it going? Wait up. Hi. I gotta go.
Can you say you?
Right. So Kuroji is he is a ladies' man every morning. And then the final one would be Katie's. So what do you guys think of how that worm kind of goes into the building, sort of like Gumby usually does when he goes through books, where you slice them up, you know? It's pretty cool. Now we do have 6 people, probably 5 now, but yeah, maybe we should try voting. Let's give it a shot, and if there's a tie or anything, maybe what I'll do is I'll be the tiebreaker, because normally I don't like to vote, but if we don't have a lot of people, I guess it's okay. So the first one, of course, would have been Zakira. And does anybody want to watch this one again, or should we should I just mention names? Does anybody else need to see these before we vote? Okay. Yeah, so there's only the 3 entries, and Nick votes for the worm from Katie. Okay. And Ron, do you want to watch these again, or do you think you know who may be your favorites? There's Kuroji as well, with his ladies' man animation here. Which is not bad at all, of course. It's a low frame rate, but it's actually pretty good.
Where's it going? Where's it going? Wait up, wait up. Hi. I gotta go. Can you say you?
Gets the point across. Almost looks like it's in a daycare center. Doesn't it? I don't know about you guys, but if you look at this here, it looks like my son's kindergarten class or something in the background. We should ask Kuroji, where did you animate that? So Ron votes for the worm also. So that's 2 for the worm. And does anybody else want to vote? There's Zakira, Kuroji, and Katie. Anybody else? And so Simon says the worm too. Okay. So that's 3 for the worm, and I guess that's as many votes as can be cast really for a winner to be given, because now we have only 5 viewers. So 3 out of 5, that means it doesn't matter if the last 2 people vote for anyone. So that is the winner. So Katie N, you have won the challenge. And what that means, of course, if you guys have watched the show in the past, is Katie N will be contacted, and I will let her know that she won. And what she'll do is she'll pick a topic. Of course, it could be anything from related to people or animals or monsters or fantasy creatures, anything really. And okay, so Ice Pick Method also votes for the worm. So that is 4 for the worm. Wow. Ron makes mention that the worm had a great feel and had a great use of focus to help create the mood. Yeah, I would say so too. I think the music helped a lot on that one. Okay, so Nick says he doesn't see any posts from any other viewers. That's weird. You might want to refresh your page. There's some other people posting in the chat here. And the chat is on the right side of the video. I guess, I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys, but it is for me. The next Leica blockbuster? Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that's really cool. You guys that always, enter into our challenges. It's really fun to watch your entries and to see how certain people progress, and how new people handle the challenges, what they do to solve the problems, and just the fact that different people have different frame rates and different styles. It's really neat, because problem solving, I think, is the hardest thing in stop motion. Okay. Well, Ice Pick Method is here too, Nick. He posted the worm. All right. Well, I don't understand. Nick always has issues with the internet in Australia. I think that there must be something going on. There's some conspiracy. Maybe it's a political conspiracy. But we can talk about that now, actually, in politics. There's a lot of stuff going on in America right now in terms of animation. And oh, by the way, Nick, there's a news story we're going to watch after I talk about this, about Australia. So you might want to stick around. But okay, you see Ice Pick? Yeah, there's only 5 people watching this show right now, so it's not very active tonight. Okay, so really, what I want to talk about is technically a political discussion in a sense, because PDI, Pacific Data Imaging, I believe, is the actual company name. That's just the acronym or whatever, PDI. They made Ants and Penguins of Madagascar and Mr. Peabody and Sherman. They are actually one of the first CGI animation companies in America. And the reason I'm talking about CGI animation is for 2 reasons. A lot of stop motion animators that were active in the 80s and early 90s pretty much started to work for PDI when they formed. And I guess Jurassic Park came out, and of course with Jurassic Park it was like the writing is on the wall. You know, stop motion animation is moving towards CG. So a lot of stop motion animators that were very active, like I say, and have done work that has inspired us or inspired me to get into stop motion have worked for these companies. And so, you know, whatever happens to these companies, most of those people that are there were basically moving there not because they per se were in love with CG animation over stop motion or anything like that. Most of the people had, you know, small families and kids and whatnot, and so, you know, they were thinking more in terms of, hey, you know, we gotta survive here, and I don't want to flip hamburgers in some you know, some restaurant on the Sunset Strip or something like that, because, you know, most of the people are in California. So anyway, I'm not going to really read all this stuff, but PDI did a lot of really great animation, and they were, you know, in terms of the animation itself, I know a lot of people watching are more or less, you know, either you're for or you're against, you know, CGIs. Some people had that attitude, but you know, for most of us, there's nothing really wrong with computer animation. So this is from 1983, so they've done some stuff a long time ago. But I think they're probably their most popular films were like Penguins of Madagascar and Ants. Webster Colcord, who we interviewed on one of our shows, really awesome clay animator, and he worked for PDI. He worked on Ants, I believe. So they are now closing shop, and there's a reason why, and I'm going to get to that in a minute. Also, DreamWorks Animation is cutting 500 jobs. So most of the stop motion animators that worked for them are getting booted. Now, I don't think the video game industry where animators have gone into video games is necessarily doing too horrible. So there are still jobs out there, and most of these people will probably try to get work in that field from you know, using their CG experience. But you know, the market is just really saturated with computerized stuff. But so why are these people, you know, even the Sony animation production president is stepping down. So why are all these people, even the top people, are jumping ship? And you know, the writing is kind of like on the wall. There's you know, animation studios shutting down. There's people losing their jobs. The presidents are saying, you know, I'm out of here. And so the reason why, the main reason, I mean, there's a lot of reasons actually, but and Ron Cole mentioned that he was talking about politics, and it is a political reason, and it's mainly because subsidies, which are, you know, the government will say, hey, if only we could pay a studio, you know, $35 million in tax benefits, they might take all their animators and move to our country. And so other countries like Canada and you know, of course in Asia, there's a lot of benefits to working in Asia because of the fact that, you know, people can do animation really super cheap, and you can commute through Skype, so for free if you want to. You know, they're English-speaking countries and so forth, and so people are basically saying, you know, we can go to these other countries and we can save millions of dollars. So it's basically a money issue. It's basically a political issue. You know, people still like CG films. They still go take their kids to them. And I mean, I'm a parent, so I take my son. We saw the last Penguins of Madagascar the other day. It's, you know, there's nothing wrong with the animation, but in terms of dollars, when you're a business, that's when if a government will subsidize your competition, you know, sometimes you just can't afford to stay in business. And it doesn't matter how many, believe it or not, how many awards you get or anything like that. These companies are just, they're dropping like flies in Hollywood. So that's really bad news, you know, and I don't know really what's going to happen. I'm hoping that maybe there will be more, maybe there will be animators that team up and get together and figure out how to make more stop motion films, low budget, smaller teams in their garages and basements, you know. I hope that that's what happens. I mean, there's going to be a shift where people in America, animators who want to do animation, are going to go on the internet. I mean, that is just what I foresee as the future. I think that Kickstarter, Indiegogo, are, you know, they're even going to probably change. And there's probably going to be new companies that come out there competing with these companies like Kickstarter, because these companies are brand new, and a lot of them are starting to realize they can also make a lot of money, you know, by charging you higher fees and stuff. And so things are going to change. Things are going to change where the power is going to be given to individuals on a smaller scale, and that's what we're going to talk about next, because there's this video from Australia. And so Nick probably, maybe he's seen this on TV, I don't know, but Darcy Prendergast is one person, and I know he's pretty active in Australia. So anyway, let's see what this person has to say about Australia and animation down under.
The art of stop-motion animation is more than a century old, but it's now experiencing a renaissance of sorts. Big-name musicians are adopting it in their film clips, and in the Northern Territory it's even being used to help promote a health message.
I can play anger. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Meet Bruce the Crocodile, one of the winners at the last Territory Fistful of Films festival.
The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
He is the brainchild of Darwin-based animator Al Oldfield.
We needed something for Fistful, and so we whipped up something that I'd actually always wanted to do, was animate to a bunch of movie quotes.
I could have had class. I could have been a contender.
Al Oldfield fell in love with the art of animation when he was a teenager.
As you can see, I'm now working at the front. I only started recently. That's my pop over there.
So I've always been a cutter and paster, toilet rolls and tissue paper, you know, making stuff. My mum had a big box of that kind of thing.
As you can see, not a huge call for my line of work.
And I watch a lot of movies, it's disgusting. And then in year 10, I think it was, at school, I was doing media, and we did an animation unit, and it was like these two worlds colliding. So he's got a posable metal skeleton inside him, so that way I can move him bit by bit.
Stop-motion animation dates back to the late 1800s. It uses a camera to capture static frames with incremental changes to create the illusion of flowing movement.
standard film runs at 24 frames a second, so that's what I shoot at. Which
labour intensive.
Darcy Prendergast is also one of Australia's leading animators.
Ooh. Mary stopped daydreaming and went and fetched her pet rooster from the rain.
Darcy Prendergast has worked together with Al Oldfield in some of Australia's major animations, including Oscar winner Adam Elliott's film Mary and Max.
He's not as talented as Adam and I, so he fled up to Darwin to try and carve out a kingdom for himself. So he sits up there on his plasticine throne.
Australian music sensation Gautier is a big fan of stop-motion animation. Darcy Prendergast has been the animator and director on 2 of his latest film clips.
Eyes Wide Open's had about 8 million hits, and Easy Way Out's had about 2 million hits, and that's only been online for a bit over a month. So, you know, these are big numbers, and when you think about how many people can physically fit in a cinema, and then you think about how many people have watched your video, it's quite humbling, really.
Stop-motion animation is having an international revival.
Claymation's undergone a renaissance of sorts. I think 3D animation's really kind of flooded the market as of the last decade. So I think audiences are kind of looking for something a little bit more handmade, a little bit more tactile.
I think there's something lovely and chewy, you know, about being able to look up at the screen and see fingerprints and know that that thing that you're looking at is real. It hasn't been generated by anything.
Al Oldfield's latest production, The River Inside, premiered recently in Darwin. The film explores the issues of male depression and has the backing of the Northern Territory Health Department.
It's one man's inner journey to discover the source of a tear.
Al Oldfield and his team have drawn on personal experiences for their subject matter.
There's an emotion, a feeling that everyone gets that's not, you know, clinical depression, but it's, you know, you're feeling pretty down or you don't want to get out of bed.
I love working with him. He's loads of fun. He also has a sort of a deep and introspective side, which I think will really come out in this film.
Sydney artist Claire Tennant makes the moulds for most of Al Oldfield's characters.
I love making things, and stop motion is just beautiful. Just the fact that anything is possible, because it's nothing is set in reality.
I'm sorry, this is really not a good time.
And Claire Tennant believes we certainly haven't seen the last of Al Oldfield's work.
He's so driven and focused, and he's such a great guy. In fact, we've already talked about when he's rich and famous.
This is what I want to do with my life, so it's very important to me that I chase that up and, yeah, follow it.
Are you just a big kid playing with Play-Doh?
Totally. It's awesome. Jealous?
Right, so some good news there from down under, so to speak. And so I don't know, maybe Nick could say if he thinks there's a renaissance of sorts down under. I mean, that's, you know, is it gaining in popularity? I mean, right now there's such a big shift that I think we're going to definitely see more stop motion for sure. Now Nick, he says everybody but him had worked on Mary and Max because he was employed by ABC still. And some other discussion, of course, about, you know, what you guys think about what the future holds. And so Ron just makes mention that people love art and instinctively reject what they perceive as artificial. I know the work that goes into CGI is real and honorable, but stop motion is more raw and real. Yeah. Well, of course, I won't really disagree. I couldn't disagree with that, but you know, I don't know. There's probably a lot of people that do. I just am partial to puppets. All right. Well, anyway, so there's some other stuff going on out there now. Let's see. I might just show this here really quickly. because this here is also part of our future. And of course, if you guys know, I'm a big person when it comes to I really love 3D printing, and one day I hope to get a 3D printer because there's so much you can do with it. And this here is just a really simple puppet that was 3D printed, and it has joints. I'm not really sure how this works, how these joints work. Of course, there's some sort of friction element to them, where there's a sort of ball and then there's a socket which doesn't appear to have a way to adjust the tension. There seems to be like a slit in the center, which perhaps what that slit is cut after. Maybe this socket is a little bit smaller than the ball, and then the animator cut a slit, and in doing so maybe there's some tension there somehow. But let's watch and see how this thing works. It's really quick. It's only 5 seconds. See that again. So it's really simple, obviously, and it's not a professional animation by any means, but it's an attempt. And you know, there's a lot of things that are going on here that are pretty interesting. The first is that 3D printers are affordable enough to do stuff like this, and the fact that you can sort of just print this, I think it's kind of neat. Like if enough stop motion people create designs in some software for others, it might be possible that we'll be buying armature kits that are not armature kits that are shipped, but you just download some plans, print them, and you're on your way. And just think of how cheap an armature kit can get, provided the material is strong enough. And with new printing technologies coming out there that can print metals and things like that, this is definitely in our future. So these little experiments are, these are pretty pioneering experiments. And I'm talking on a consumer level, because obviously, Leica and all these other companies can make, perfect $30,000 armatures and use the latest, computerized milling machines and all that sort of stuff. But I just wanted to show that really quickly, and that's from Simon Bennett. Simon Bennett. Now, let me see something here. Okay, I guess different person. So anyway, let's see how much time we have. About 15 more minutes, so I'm going to move a little bit quicker here. Now, Gumby behind the scenes celebrating 60 great years. Free exhibit opens on January 24th at ASU's Gallery 100. This is in Tempe, Arizona, and I know that Anthony Scott had worked on this. Anthony Scott, who is a animator, and now he's a documentary filmmaker as well. He's pretty well known in the stop motion circles, and he started out working for Art Clokey and working on this Gumby character in Pokey, which is, actually there's a lot of characters, but this was something that got him into filmmaking. And Art Clokey, really, he hired a lot of new people at the time. He was innovative and just, but he also allowed a lot of people to come into his company even if you didn't have top-notch skills, and he let people grow with his company, and that is really kind of says a lot about him. But so anyway, just to kind of move forward on this quickly, Gallery 100 opens its doors for a unique Gumby birthday bash on Saturday, January 24th, 2015. So today's the 28th, so obviously if you want to see it, you need to call up, go there, do whatever, find out if it's still going on by the time you watch this video. And to do that, I don't know. So it's Arizona State University's Gallery 100. So I imagine if you go to, looks like art.asu.edu, and they have an hours of operation on this site. So let's click that. And it looks like you can go there Monday to Thursday, noon to 5 p.m. and Fridays on noon to 3 p.m. And weekends and major holidays, they are closed. But that's good to know for some of you, I'm sure, down in Arizona. But who wouldn't like to see that? I mean, just to see the puppets and Gumby and Pokey as they were. And of course, sometimes Joe Clokey, his son, still makes things like little intros and things like that. So that's something to look forward to for some people. And now let's see. This video here I found, and I thought that maybe for some of you out there who might have this software, Corel VideoStudio ProX4. I don't own it. And I don't know if this is something that is free or where you can even download it. But it might be worth looking into if anybody out there is looking for software to do stop motion animation in. So we're going to watch a short tutorial and this is from Nam Tai-Hyun. And I guess he is living somewhere in Asia and made this video. So this is a tutorial on how to do stop motion in Corel VideoStudio.
Stop motion is a technique to animate objects and give them a lifelike feel. VideoStudio has a simple stop motion capability which, when combined with video editing tools, provides a fun animation production system. To start stop motion, click on the Quick Capture button. The stop motion preview window shows the video from your device. The video device will show up in the source pull-down. Give your project a name. Determine where you want the animation saved. You can have the animation saved to a library in VideoStudio. Image duration determines how many frames are captured at one time. Capture resolution determines the resolution your animation will be captured at. In auto capture, you can specify if you want to capture manually or mouse click automatically after a period of time. When you enable auto capture, click the Set Time button. This button lets you set the frequency of capture. If you set this at 4 seconds, the software will capture every 4 seconds. No need to click the mouse. The capture duration is the end length of your animation. Capturing will stop at that time. Every frame will be displayed in the tray, and you can delete and move frames in this tray. To preview your animation, click the Preview button. To make a simple animation, position your model, click the Record button. The capture begins and gives a warning light before capture. To help you, we have provided an onion skin capability showing you the last frame. Let's make a short animation. Once you are done, click Save, then Exit. The animation shows up in your library. You can now add effects and modify it. Drag the animation to your timeline. For fun, let's add an effect. An old film effect. Once you get your mind focused, it ain't nothing you can't do. What y'all wanna do? Come on. Once you get your mind focused, it ain't nothing you can't do. A sketch effect. Once the animation is in VideoStudio, you have a wide variety of tools at your disposal to make great stop-motion productions.
Come on. So I didn't know that you could do stop motion in any Corel products. I did have a Corel drawing program, I think, many years ago, like probably 12 years ago. I never used it, so I don't have a lot of experience, but they seem to still be around, and I think Nick said he had on a Macintosh, or Ron said he had on a Macintosh, a Corel Painter, he says. Yeah, I guess I had the same program, Corel Painter. And Nick says, I used to have Corel on a PC too. So it's cross-platform. And so yeah, I mean, just you know, it might be something to consider. It's a pretty good tutorial, and it looks more geared towards, you know, webcam users and not DSLR or anything like that. There's no bells and whistles, but it might be a very cheap option for animators out there compared to the software that's there now. Okay, so we have about 8 minutes left. Okay, well, let's watch this next video. This is something that a lot of people are getting into, which is animating pixelation with light. And so we're going to watch this. This is called Light Speed. Companies that make products just for the purpose of animation like this. And these were the places that they went and did their animation. But let's watch the behind the scenes video related to this. And by the way, again, this is from Darren Pearson on YouTube, if you guys want to find this. And this is behind the scenes of Light Goes On. So I think that might be a different film, might not be, I can't remember now, but let's check it out. So that gives you an idea of what he was doing to do the animation. And he's got also some tutorials as well. How much time we have left? I might go over on time tonight because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. But
hi, my name's Darren, otherwise known as Darius Twin, and I do light paintings. And right now I'm going to go over a little light painting tutorial with you. First thing you're going to need is flashlights, and I have two mini flashlights with me, a red and also a blue, and you can pick these up at pretty much any 99-cent store or liquor store, and you're going to use them in the dark to create whatever image you want. We're going to use them as kind of lines. So when you shut the light off, it looks really cool. So we have one line right there, you know, maybe a circle. We can do basic shapes. But anyways, so you have your lights, and then also we're going to have a camera. And you want a camera that's capable of shooting a slow shutter speed. Normal cameras, when you point and shoot, the lens opens up and it stops really quickly. But what we're going to do is have the lens stay open for a longer period of time than normal. I'm going to set mine to 10 seconds at 5.6. And I have a tripod set up just beyond the laptop here. I'm going to set it up and then do a light painting while you watch. So sit tight. I'm setting the camera up on the tripod. I have a 10-second timer. Lights out for now. I got my lights handy. And shooting now. And that was my light painting. Lights back on, and this is my results. As you can see, there's kind of like a smiley face going on there. That's pretty much what I was trying to do, so we can call that one a success. So give it a try, see what you guys come up with.
So Ron Cole made comment, liquor store, my kind of guy, and Nick is saying he'll stick with puppets, but I think this is good to know. In fact, I did let me see if I can find it. Hopefully, I'm not sure if I can. Yeah, it'll take me. I probably can't find it because I just reorganized all my images recently. Let me see. Oop. But you can use lasers as well on your sets to make long exposures and to make lightning effects, I found out. And you know what, I'm gonna try to find it. Let me see here, because I sent Webster Colcord a picture, and it was of an experiment using lasers, and I have a black light purple laser, and okay, I'm sure I have it here. I have to have it here, please. Please let me have it. Oh, come on. Okay, bear with me, people. I'll try to find this image. Here we go. All right, here it is. Yeah, for Webster's birthday, what I did is I was doing some experiments with an old puppet, and here it is. And this is my Mad Doctors, he had a puppet called Mad Doctors of Borneo, and I was inspired by it, and I made my own skeleton character. And I also got these lasers for $5 from China on eBay. Like $5 lasers and free shipping, so I thought, I always wanted to try a blue laser to see what would happen if I used one and did a long exposure. And here's some of the effects that I got doing a long exposure with the laser. So you can get like lightning, and inside of his eyes there was some fluorescent green paint. So when I shined this black light, essentially like a black light type laser on his eyes, the light just expanded super ultra bright, and the camera picked it up. And but let me see some here. That picture really doesn't illustrate exactly what I got. There's another one. Oh, here it is. Okay. So here's the sort of the raw image, and you can see how blacklight paint, which was green, fluorescent green, was affected by the laser, and how when the laser touched anywhere else it was purple, but that green, it looked like it had an ultra bright LED inside of his eyes. So you don't have to necessarily use those techniques for light painting, using flashlights and stuff, but using lasers has a lot of potential in stop motion films. So anyway, I'm going to close that. So just something that some people out there who are creative might think about doing that. And so light painting is sort of, it's not necessarily just, you can use parts of it for stop motion puppets. And so Simon says it reminds me of the witch scene in Paranorman. And Ron says, I was just thinking that lasers on surfaces would be more in line with our miniature way of doing things. And so Nick says, with the surface you could cheat and lightly sketch out where you were going to draw with your light. That's true. Yeah, you could pre-animate things, in fact. And actually you could use like a green screen, which actually the puppet that I showed you before had a green screen behind him, and so when you shine the laser on the green, it turns out to be like a white light. And so the point I was going to say is, if you can key out the green in some way and just keep the light, you could overlay effects on things, and there's just a whole lot of possibilities with it. So here's some LED flashlights, and this is from Wise LED. Let's see how long this is. This is 2 minutes, but let's just see what they did, quickly here. But yeah, I mean, you do have to be really good at drawing to make things look good when you do this. And I can't draw to save my life, so I probably would make horrible animations with flashlights. But it shows you what you could do, and these are things you could overlay on puppets. These are things you could work into your animation by using LEDs on your sets, for example. But the company that is selling products to do this, one of them is lightpaintingbrushes.com. I'd never heard of this stuff before until I found that video. And you can see here what they sell are these, it's basically just a black tube, and it has a funneled end on it. And so essentially what you do is you take the larger end and you put it on your flashlight, and it grips the end, and then you insert these little colored, like acrylic translucent parts, and these parts will light up. And there's also things like this, which use fiber optics. They have a lot of different products. Let me see. They have bottle brushes, fiber optic brushes. Check these out here. So this is basically it. And for 20 bucks, you get one of these little attachments where you can, put a colored light on the end, screw it on there, and wand it around. Not really sure what you could use that for exactly. It depends, I guess, on your film. But something to think about. And they also have bottle brushes. So what these things do is it creates the bottle lights up when you put the flashlight inside of it to give you a different effect. Plexiglass brushes. So this will give you an edge shape to what you're animating in space. Just the edge of it will probably light up, I would imagine. And light swords. So you got your sort of lightsaber type attachments to your flashlights. They have tutorials as well. And I'm not really going to go into anything else on here, but I found it pretty nice to learn, you know, because it seems like something you could utilize for stop motion in different ways, even if it's on a miniature scale. And that's at lightpaintingbrushes.com. Okay, so we're going over time a little bit, but I wanted to show some of these animations from Justin Rasch. And yeah, I think that this will be the last part of our show, I guess. But to make a long story short, Justin Rasch met Don Bluth at a convention, and when he met him, he wanted to make an impression on Don Bluth because he thought, well, Don Bluth meets like 15 million people a day at these conventions, and they all say, "I'm your biggest fan." You know, I'm sure everybody says, "Hey Don, I'm your biggest fan. I've known you and I've seen all your films," and blah 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 blah. So he's probably heard it 1,000 times. So what Justin wanted to do was make some animations, sort of as a homage to one of his characters. And so what is the name of this character again? It is I should know, right? I should know. Dirk. Okay, his name is Dirk. And I believe his wife was the one to cast this. And Nick was mentioning before that he likes wire armatures over, you know, he thinks it would be better than printed armatures, which is true, you know. But here are some of the animations, and they're really great, and they're simple, and he wasn't trying to be perfect in his puppet making skills here. He was just trying to get the expression across. So here's the first one. This is called Grab and Slam Wire. Okay, so that was the first one, and I thought, I mean, there's a lot of nuance to his animation that, you know, he really probably spends a lot of time on every single frame. And Justin Rasch is an animator. Simon is asking, he's asking who is Justin, and he's worked on a film for Leica called Paranorman, and also he's made Gerald's Last Day, I think it's called. It's a stop motion short, and another one called, is it called The Line? I think it was called The Line originally, but I forget what it's called now. But if you want to check out his blog, I should probably have mentioned this first. It is justinrasch.blogspot.com. That's justinrasch.blogspot.com. And on Vimeo, his username is JRIGGITY. Now, here's another one called Sword Fight 1 Test. Okay, now I don't know why the sound didn't line up on that one, but let's watch that one more time. Yes, I believe that's it. Nick, Justin Rasch, R-A-S-C-H, I believe. So really astounding animation. It's a very simple puppet, but it just really looks great. And this one is called Noise Test. So there's a lot of body language, a lot of, like I say, nuance in that. Ron Cole said, when I first met him, I assumed he looked like his avatar, which was a fat, dumpy dog. He's like the most athletic animator out there, I think. Alright. So you can really learn a lot by studying his work. And there's two more. This one is called Walk Struts M. Oops. So I'm not sure if he cycled that, but great little animation. And it looks like the way his feet are, I don't know how he tied his feet down. If he tied them down or made like some slits in that wood below his feet. Unfortunately, there's this bar under here. Let's see if it'll go away if I don't move my mouse. There we go. I'm not really sure. Let's see here. Simon asks, do you know Pencil Test Depot? And I know I'm on there's a group on Facebook that I'm part of. It's like Traditional Animation, I think it's called. It's a run test. Yeah, I think these are cycled run. Looking at this one, I think it is. If you look at his pinky on his right hand, it's always in the same position. Yeah, I'm pretty certain this one is. The other one I don't know though. The other one might not be. You can tell easily on fast ones like this, but slower ones it's really difficult. Because if you're a good animator, you could potentially just keep animating good all the way, you know, for several steps. And Nick says the tie down must be in the toe. Yeah, at least on the last frame, it's definitely in the toe here. Yeah, I think Justin was it him or Shell that was hurt in some sort of thing they did. They were doing some kind of yeah, I can't remember. A while back though, I think his wife was hurt doing some kind of stunt. But anyway, let's see, where is, yes, Justin was here. Where did I see that? I saw a picture of him on here somewhere that was kind of funny. Where did I see it? I can't find it now. But let's see if this one loads up. Yeah, that's Justin right there, for those of you guys who don't know who he is. So justinrasch.blogspot.com. It's a really great place to go just to get inspired, and he's working on the latest Leica feature, and he gave him his impression of it, but he didn't get into any details because he can't. You know, he's got a non-disclosure agreement he probably signed, but he kind of tells everybody what he thinks about the project, and it's going to be called Kubo and the Two Strings, and that's the poster for it, or at least the temporary poster. Alright. Well, anyway, I'm glad you guys were able to stop by this week, and I am going to end the show. So, see you guys all later. Thanks for listening, and hopefully you'll work on your own projects soon and post it on our site. So, see y'all later.